Ladies and gentlemen, another Facebook Live today. Welcome. We are very fortunate today to have from the, I don't know where he's from, but hey, Alberto Saab. Ladies and gentlemen, all right. And he's wearing his nacho and bean. No, what's that called you're wearing? Oh, we can't hear him now. Alberto, I think you muted yourself.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, it was just oh yeah, muted himself.
Yeah, you did mute yourself. We're gonna have to hear you. Ladies and gentlemen, on the Cinco de Mayo, we are now experiencing technical difficulties. Please stand by. They gotta hear you describe what you're wearing, so come on.
Yeah, he muted himself. He might want.
Whenever you turn,
Can you hear me?
now we can. Yes.
Yeah.
Sorry for the technical difference. Es culpa.
All right. So tell Alberto, you know what? It's Cinco de Mayo. You picked this day on purpose. I know you did. So tell everybody a little about yourself, maybe what you're wearing. I don't think everybody knows what that is exactly. Oh! Okay, so now you turned your camera back on, but now you're muted again, bud. Extreme close up!
Where are we? We can't hear. Yeah, I got interrupted. His audio. He muted himself again.
Yeah, Alberto, I don't know if you know it, but you muted yourself again.
Can you hear me now?
There you go. Yay! Hey, I want you to know this is a record. 3 introductions so far. We're at 3.
I only talk to people unless I get introduced 3 times. So there we go. Hopefully I won't get interrupted anymore. I'm sorry. I'm just getting phone calls and texts left and right. So I'm trying to I should have muted myself. Oh. Anyhow, to answer your question, so Feliz Cinco de Mayo, everybody. I'm so glad that the Mexicanos beat the French and they kicked their culos right out of Mexico.
That's exactly what it is, too.
The funny thing is that I speak fluent Spanish, but I am not Mexican, believe it or not. I just celebrate Mexico. I even got married in Mexico. I've been doing real estate for 20 years, and I love it. It's fun. It's just it's a really fun industry to be in.
Okay, now tell them what you're wearing, too.
Oh, I'm wearing my Vatos Locos shirt. Let me see if I can do this right.
No, I mean your mask. I mean, we love it. Oh, I love your tacos.
Lucha Libre mask.
Lucha Libre. Oh.
Mask. This is what I wrestle my clients into a listing agreement with.
Sign here.
Either sign or I body slam you. You take the choice.
I love it. Sign or you will be body slammed. I love it. Awesome.
All right.
So now we have to give them a couple fun facts. Like, okay, so you can give them a couple too. Number 1 is United States on this day consumes more tequila than any other country on the planet. I did not know that until I checked it before we started. And we eat 81 million pounds of avocado on this very day. Yes.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Well, you know, I was saying to you, Rick Berube, unfortunately, that means that the cartels are making a ton of money today because I don't know for those of you that are paying attention, unfortunately, the cartels are out there taking over avocado farms. It's very lucrative. I mean,
yeah,
limes are next.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy what they get away with. You know, one of the things is I love going to Mexico, but I love where I live, and it's a lot safer. You know, so right.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
All right. So tell us a little about yourself. How long you been doing this? You know, your production level, all that good stuff, Mr. Saab.
All right. So I've been doing this for 20 years. I started out as an investor. I was buying properties and selling them. I was flipping them basically back in the 2000s. And in 2004, I was reading Robert Kiyosaki's Think and Grow Rich. And while I was doing all that, I decided, you know what? I should be really close to what I'm trying to invest in. I should, if you really want to be good at something, you really need to dive all the way in. So that's what we decided to do. We decided to become realtors. I became a realtor first. Rachel became a realtor 2 years after me. And we've been top producing agents at the office that we were there for those years, and then came over to Prudential, which obviously turned into Berkshire Hathaway, and we definitely do easily 50 plus transactions a year just between the two of us. Typically, it's around 60 plus transactions between the two of us.
That's awesome. And where did you finish? Like last year, you were like in the top 20, right? I think you were even better than that. But in your
Yes.
office, way above that.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And we didn't stop doing what I just kept doing what I was supposed to do during the whole pandemic. I was like, I'm going to go to the office. I'm going to keep on making phone calls. Like this thing doesn't even exist. As far as business is concerned, and that was helpful. That was good for me personally, and it was good for the business.
Right. Yeah. Kept talking to people, kept getting out there. You followed all the rules that you had to follow, right? Like some places you had to go put the little booties on, make sure you had your mask on, but still out there. Right. Not that mask, although that would have been a good listing mask. You probably would have got every one of them.
But about 20% of my business has ended up being Latino. So the fact that I speak Spanish has been very, very helpful in my business as well.
That's awesome. All right.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, cool. So I love it, and and I know what you do to do your business, but give them an idea. Like, okay, so you mentioned prospecting, and so give them an idea of what you do to create 60 plus deals a year between you and Rachel.
So my calendar is I try to follow my calendar as best as possible every day. Right. I get up in the morning. I go to the gym as early as Typically, it's anywhere between 6:30 and 7:30 in the morning. I go to the gym. But before I go to the gym, I pull my expired listing to find out who's expired or withdrawn, so I can call them first thing in the morning. And so after I go to the gym, I get ready for the office. I always try to make it into the office. I don't like to stay at home, although today I'm doing that just because it's easier for this particular um, for the Facebook Live. And then once I'm at the office, I go ahead and I start doing my follow-up calls. So I call expireds and withdrawals first. I do my follow-up calls after that. And then after I'm done with those, then I may do just listed calls, for sale by owner calls. It just depends on what I've got in my queue that I've set up the day before. Then at noon, I'll do some more follow-up. And then in the evening around 7 o'clock, I'll do um, those that I couldn't get a hold of in the morning or at noon. I'll call those people as well. And that's been very helpful. I get a lot of people that tell me, you know what, you're so good about communicating and you're always in touch. I call all my spheres 4 times a year. For example, on Mother's Day, I'll do a video. I already did the video, actually. I just now, obviously, on Friday, not on Mother's Day because I'll be with my mom, but on Friday, I'll send it out to all the mothers that are in my top 100 clients, that kind of thing. And it just creates momentum on top of itself. As you bring in more people into your sphere, you start to create a little snowball effect, and that snowball just gets bigger. And then all of a sudden, like now, I get phone calls where people just call me and go, "Hey, you know what? I've been getting your emails, and you've been calling me for the last couple of years, and I want to list." It's just that easy, So.
Yeah, after you've been doing it a while, you do it. And if you're calling your sphere 4 times a year, you're calling expired listings. I think you call around your listings and sales too, don't you?
I do, and then if we have a particular buyer that needs in a particular neighborhood, for example, or they have a very particular need, we'll contact anybody that falls within that realm. And last year we did 10% of our sales was ones that we found the seller for the buyer, and the seller was not even on the market.
You know what? That's such a great point because I've been telling agents to do that for a while now, and I know you do it. So give them an idea of how you do that. That's just such a great idea.
So let's say, for example, the client says to me, I have a perfect example, actually. there was a client that wanted in they wanted Sun City Anthem. They wanted a particular model. So we went into Realist. If you don't use Realist, it's something that you should maybe learn how to use as an agent. We went into Realist. We set up the search. We found all the properties that matched um, that criteria. We downloaded that to a Excel spreadsheet. Now I have a guy that I send him that information. He pulls those phone numbers for me. However, a lot of people can get that information from title companies. So once we have the list, then we just literally just get on the phone and just start calling them. Hi, my name is Alberto. I have a client that wants to live in your community. Her name is XYZ. And you actually have a model home that is exactly the model she's looking for. Are you thinking about selling or moving in the next, in the near future? And you get a lot of no's. You get, I'm going to die here, that kind of thing. But every once in a while, all of a sudden, you get those a lot.
I remember those.
Yeah. So when will that be?
Yeah. What time today at 4 works for you? We're only joking, people. We're only joking.
Yeah. No, I definitely am only joking. I laugh when people tell me that. You go, okay, well, I hope not, but.
Yeah, that's what I used to say. Well, I hope it's not today. So how long have you lived there?
So, and then we'll get once it'll say, hey, actually, I have been thinking about moving or whatever the case may be, what their situation is. And if it works out for the client, great. And especially in a market like this where the client can't be picky, right? So they've worked out a lot better because the client's just like, thank you for finding me something.
Right.
Rather than, well,
they love you.
That one,
Yeah. I tell them all the time, Alberto, MLS is just one of the areas that you find listings. MLS, you can go to for sale by owners. What you're doing is the hot buyer script, basically your own version of it. But it's basically, a lot of homes are sold in your area. Matter of fact, I have a buyer that wants exactly your model. What time today by 4 could you be out? No, I'm kidding. But something on that.
Yeah.
So yeah, and it's such and your buyers, it's so awesome because you're being so proactive and going out there and just finding it for them. That's awesome.
Right, absolutely. Yeah. We want to help our clients no matter. We want them to show them value that we're not just your average agent.
Right. And by that mask, we know you are not an average agent. I love it. Hey, look I like your picture in the back. It kind of matches too. That's cool. Is that a?
Yeah, that was in Nicaragua. We got that photo from a local artist in Nicaragua. This whole room is decorated in Mexican and Latin stuff. So this mask is a fertility mask. I don't know if you can see it back there. Let's see.
Yep. That wait a minute. You wouldn't actually.
There's a lot of fertility in here. So this one.
That does not surprise me, Alberto.
Also fertility. This is my favorite because I love Baja California, so that's my Baja California mask.
Yep, I especially like the tip down there called Cabo. Yes.
Yeah. So there you go. That's your.
That's awesome, dude. Now you know everything Mexico and so forth, but you're actually Colombian, right?
No. My mom is from Central America. She's from Guatemala.
Oh, Guatemala. Okay.
My dad was Lebanese. I never grew up with my dad, so I didn't really know that side. But I grew up with my mom, which is Guatemala. So I spent a lot of time in Guatemala. I spent a lot of time going through Mexico because we would take a bus to go to Guatemala, and inevitably we'd get robbed every single time we went through Mexico. Somebody would stop the bus. They'd take us off the bus. My mom would yell at the guys. Little 4-foot lady, screaming at guys with guns and stuff. It was a very interesting time.
Wow, you got to write a book about that. That's good. Yeah, you didn't get hurt though. All right, so just give them an idea of your breakdown as far as so you do different types of prospecting in your sphere. Do you just have a general idea of how your business breaks down, like with what sources they come from?
Well, yeah, I mean, the sources are for sale by owner, expired, withdrawn, just listed, just sold. Of course, your sphere. I have my sphere broken down into A, B, and C. Like A are people that have used me more than once, have referred me out. B are people that I think if I help them uh, refer me or learn how to refer me, they will start referring more. And C is people that I just want to stay in touch with because they may turn into something, you know. But I'm very good about purging people out of my database. I don't like if I know it's a difficult client, I'm just going to delete them out. I'm not going to, when you're a new agent, you're just trying to hold on to every single one you get, but you don't
Right.
realize that the bad ones, are actually taking you away from the good ones. So you want to
So
learn how to
true.
purge. I think that's very important.
True. And okay, so what percentage of your business comes from your sphere, would you say?
I say 40% comes from Sphere. It used to be another 40% would come from expireds, but because there's hardly any expireds anymore, that's more like 20% now. And
Ah,
then and then and then another probably 30% plus comes from just listed, just sold. I'm getting a lot of people from just listed, just solds.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's a
For
great
sale
source
by
right now.
owners, I've always tried to do for sale by owners, and I still do, but I just don't like to hold people's hands that long because they do
Okay.
take a long time to cultivate typically.
All right, now I have to ask you this question because of how you're dressed. I have to ask you this. So on this Cinco de Mayo day, what are you going to do?
Well, after this call, I'm going to go to the office. I'm going to take care of business. So
Oh,
I
cool.
actually have an offer I got to deal with, but I also have a listing appointment for tomorrow that he may just go ahead and see me today, which would be
Nice.
fantastic. So I'm gonna change, put my suit back on, and and then when I'm done with work, then I'll put the mask back on.
Okay. Can we bring Rachel in? I want Rachel to give us her opinion on the match. She probably loves it, I'm sure.
Yeah, yeah. Well, luckily for me, she's not here today. She's at the office.
She's already here. Okay, she's probably watching you too.
No, she's at
Oh,
the she's at the she's at the office.
oh, okay, cool, cool. All right, so okay, so I got to ask you this question. My favorite question, you know what it is okay. So you're, let's say you could do this all over again, or what you've learned. What would be the three most important things you tell them to focus on to be successful in this business?
Well, definitely create a schedule and do your best to stick to it. Don't beat yourself up over it when you don't stick to it, but just continually always try to stick to that schedule. That's definitely number one because you need consistency. And getting a coach definitely helps. And if you're not happy with your coach, then find a new coach.
Right.
You can't get stuck with one person and expect them to be the all tell. And then really focus on your industry. I'm always looking at things like I literally just pulled this information. I pulled how many companies own properties, more than 50 properties in Las Vegas, Henderson, and North Las Vegas. Uh, how many properties do we have total in the valley? I'm just always looking at trying to figure out different things about my industry and what's going on. It's the more you know, the more people trust you. And they
Mm.
should trust you because you are more intelligent than the next person because you've educated yourself in areas. Like I can tell you what your loss opportunity would be if you didn't buy today and you bought in a year from now. Now, this is obviously just my opinion of a lost opportunity. How much you would lose over the course of 4 years. So if you bought today at 500,000, you bought next year at 525, because I'm assuming it's going to go up 5% at least. And in 4 years, you'd have an $80,000 lost opportunity if you waited that 1 year. And I break it all down. That's very, it gets kind of technical. So some people don't really like all that information, but it's just good to understand your market and understand how your clients are being affected. I can tell you if your HOA is $100 versus $200, how much in buying power you just lost for that extra $100 in your HOA payment.
Mm.
So and just educate yourself as much as you can. Always be learning the industry and what's going on in the industry.
So true. I love those points too. It's great stuff, and giving them that. I like that lost opportunity because let's face it. Even with the interest rates going up, the interest rates are still pretty incredible. Although that will affect appreciation shortly, right? Even though this year
Right.
will probably be I think we're already at double digits in every market we're in, pretty
Oh
much.
yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah,
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 for sure.
and they're predicting next year to go down to single digits, but that's what they said earlier this year about this year, and it didn't happen. So it's
Yeah.
crazy. We got a lot of stuff going on with the economy and so forth, but the market is cranking, right?
It is cranking, and you also. I mean, listen, I'm a big believer in have uh, 3 months at least of your business expenses saved up and 6 months of your personal expenses saved up. That way, if shit hits the fan, at least you're prepared for it.
Right. Good stuff.
If I could offer that.
Good stuff too. So why don't you, since we're talking about the market and you mentioned I can give you my opinion, give us a quick opinion. What do you think is going to happen over the next few years here in lovely Las Vegas?
Well, I don't like to predict the next 2 years because that's the dangerous road to go down. I will say, in my opinion, we're probably going to see single digits between now. So I think we've already gone up 10% this year. I
Yep.
think we're going to go up another 3 to 5% in the remainder of this year, and we're probably going to see that 5% probably next year as well. You're probably going to see interest rates start to soften up at some point at the end of this year, beginning of next year, once we get control over this inflation. Those are just my personal opinions. On the other hand, because I do quite a few listings, I'm seeing some crazy stuff that is just making me scratch my head. There is a particular buyer out there right now that they're buying every time I put a property on the market. Let's say the last comp is 510, they're offering 540 cash, and I'm like, what are you doing? First of all, you're leaving money on the table. Second of all, you're really creating a little bit of a false market, for lack of a better word. I don't want to be that doomsdayer, but I just don't think what they're doing is healthy for the market, and it kind of worries me as to where we're going to end up at. So I'm starting to try to figure that out because I know that this company is buying about 100 properties a month right now in Nevada. So that's
Wow.
scary.
And they're
Yeah.
buying them for as much as 10, 15% over appraised value or market value.
Right, which is, I mean, at some point, obviously, things can't be sustainable, right? So if these cash buyers pull out of the market or stop buying, then that's when you'll probably see any kind of price depreciation. I wouldn't expect the depreciation to be more than a maximum of 10%. But like I always tell people that are looking to buy to live in it, you're looking to live in it. This is your castle. Don't get caught up in the whole like, is it going to go down in value and all that stuff, because over time we know historically it will go up in value.
Right.
If you're only going to live in it for a year or two, okay, I understand your concern. If you're going to live in it for 3, 4, 5 years or more, then don't worry about it. You're still paying less in rent, and it's
Yep.
your place. Yeah.
Yep. And I even heard Prosperity Mortgage has a 10-year fixed or a 10-year adjustable, depending on how you look at it. If you're a glass half empty, half full person, I would call it a 10-year fixed because most people don't keep their mortgage for 10 years or their property.
Right.
But anyway, so and the rate's lower for that. And I know you can do buy downs now. So if the rate's a problem, you can buy it down. There's all kinds of stuff that you can do right now, but it's much better of an idea to buy right now than it is to wait. And a lot of people think because they think the bubble's coming. I always go, no, there's no bubble unless you're talking about
How
bubble
many
gum.
years did they say that?
I know
How many
exactly.
years did they say that, Rick?
And it's
For the
usually
last
buyers
5
that say
years.
it.
Yeah.
All right, Alberto, I know we're right at time now. So any final words you want to leave these people, maybe a fun fact about Cinco de Mayo or something, or anything you want to tell them?
Oh wow! Well, the only fun fact that I wanted to share, I already shared it with obviously that the Mexicans beat the French and they said adios, hasta la vista, baby. So,
No, they said au revoir, but adios, yes.
they said it in French. Right, true that. Yeah. Well, no, I wanted to say thank you very much for having me on the Facebook Live, Rick. I really appreciate it.
I
And
appreciate you, my man.
and listen, if anybody out there ever wants to call me and ask me any questions, you know me, Rick. I'm always open to
You
talking to
are, yep.
people. I'd be more than glad to share any. I don't have secrets.
Yep. Well, you know what? And you know, because you know that what you do every single day, not everybody's willing to do. And that's what you have to do to be successful. So congratulations, my man.
Thank you.
Woo! All right, Alberto. Thank you for your time. Everybody else, we'll see you again next week. Thanks, Alberto. Go get him, my man. I love it.